All right. Let's see what we got. I'm going to share my screen. Give me 1 second. All right. All right. Looks like we got it. Hello. Wow. What's cool? Yeah, so as you can see on the left, we have NQ and GC, and then we've got on the right the evilsignals.trade app, which is essentially sort of bypassing the need to rely on the restrictions of TradingView's capacity to process lots of information, right? So instead of just having alerts being processed from TradingView with a limited look back, we have a bloody engine, an app that takes those signals, just the signals, buy and sell, and it's been collecting information on when those trades work well and when they don't. Real live trades, no simulated historical scenarios, actual trades and actual results, right? And so that is the thing that sets this apart from other. Well, I can't even say that there's someone doing something similar, actually. So, yeah, it's been a lot of work. You might hear in my voice, I'm a bit tired because I have been working very hard with the team. But yeah, all for good reason, because it is at the point where you could, in theory, have fully automatic trading in an app. So you're on your phone. Can you imagine? You got the web app downloaded, and you get a signal. It says buy on gold. It gives you the targets, the stop price, and you can have a whole trailing functionality where it goes to TP1, trails to break even, locks in those profits, and then what? You've already been paid. The TP2 is kind of like an extra call if it hits statistically with lazy boy mode. I'll get into that in a moment. Lazy boy is basically picking the best current evolving signal type combos. And if you're not aware of like stacks, if you haven't used stacks before, stacks basically has all these different signal types: A setup, B setup, long, short, session base, so which session those occur in, whether it's EM range size, scalp, intraday, or swing. So lots of different variables. And it's taking all of that information and being like, okay, these are the top 5 current best combos. Yeah. And so people worrying that their edge is going to fade. Well, you should be worried if you haven't got something that is completely dynamic in that way, the way in which we've organized our data processing. So, yeah, it's very cool. But because I've worked so hard on it, I can't even smile too much, because it's taken a lot of work. And I think when people say, yeah, I've been working hard, you know, there are levels to that. I can assure you. But yeah, anyway, so here we have on the right, yeah, Signals app. And technically, this is a point where, you have certain like people in the industry, typically in price action trading styles, they speak in mysterious ways. Um, and they're like, I don't even need to look at the chart to trade. It's like, and people will be lured into that. Whereas I can say you don't even have to look at the chart to trade now with this app, right? Um, and I can show you how and why, which is a big difference between me saying that and someone saying that but not telling you why. You should question that, I think. How? I'm not telling you. Well, why should I believe you then? But you don't have to actually even look at the chart. So here I have on the left, no candles, but do I even need the candles even shown? I could even be putting it on, for serious magic tricks. You could put it on like bloody Renko, or what's a weirder one? What's weirder than Renko? Renko's kind of strange. Yeah, okay, I'm a Renko trader now. Here we go. It's irrelevant because it's taking all that information anyway, and it's giving you the best scenarios to focus on. Yeah, and I'll take you through a few things because you might already see that we have some other things going on. So you got on the right, you see where it's got the numbers. It's got a 0 next to that gold long. Well, that's actually derived from a few things. So we've got machine learning that's been learning the signals and the best regimes, right? Evolving regimes to follow. And it's also using something kind of a bit novel in a way. It's taking information from prop firm traders, right? It's taking information of what direction they're trading and whether they're underwater and whatnot. And it's actually combining that with the machine learning regimes and also the direction of the trades that we're being signaled to. Yeah, so let's say we're long from a bullish stack. If you know about stacks, that's where the signals are coming from. We're long from a bullish stack, but everyone on prop firm number one is short and they're underwater. What do you think is going to happen? Well, our trade is contrarian to that, and it's more likely going to play out. And I have the data to support actually 100% likelihood when those scenarios align, right, where everyone's short into our stack and they're already in a loss in their trade. There's 100% likelihood of that trade being favorable for us. It's very unique edge there. So you can see here these values actually combine a few things. It's a little bit early because I've been tracking it for like maybe a month. But we get thousands and thousands of trades, right? Our back catalog is coming up to maybe 3,000 trades soon, logged, live trades, yeah, not simulation, real trades. And so it's sort of attaching this figure, a confidence score based on the machine learning and the contrarian data from prop firm traders. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. And this has a 0. It didn't work out, right? In future, we could filter this stuff out. There is an ML mode, but I'm waiting till the end of this week to actually see whether it's calibrated right. But that'll be cool too. app mode uses app derived levels instead of trading views levels, right? Because trading view is I've been working with PineScript for a while now and trying to battle it. And 1 month with complex statistical based systems, 1 month the levels make sense. If anyone's had any experience in the audience with that, they'll know exactly what I mean. They'll be like, "Oh, bloody hell, you know what you mean, mate," you know. And it's like, okay, well, someone's got to be brave, and it's got to be you, right? So I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna, because if we've got the data collecting on the back end, there's absolutely no reason why we can't just be like, we have the real data. There's no like need to sort of battle someone else's way of processing the data. So I'm just gonna take the bull by the horns and process it ourselves. And we know that whatever information we can derive from that will be legitimate, realistic, fair, you know, and all of that good stuff. Okay, so app derived levels. There's all this other stuff, heat stop, which is based off of max adverse moves from suggested entries. Yeah. But then, with lazy boy and then app mode, it's already optimizing on a rotating, evolving basis the best stop loss distances to use, right? And then we have another thing. It's all sort of gearing towards, like, it's sort of evolved to the point where it's like, I want to have something I can just push a button and it trades for me, and I don't have to. I know with automation guys and bot guys, they're always like, "Oh, you always have to check in on it," you know. And actually, I think there's ways where you don't have to do that. If you have a really deep network of data, resources, and directives, right, to keep the system flowing. Not an easy job, and I can understand even with the advancement of like AI, it doesn't mean that everyone's going to be able to do this. I understand that because it takes a lot of work to plan. It can take. I've probably done maybe a year's worth of work in 2 months. Can you imagine with this? So yeah, I know it's to answer all those questions of like, how are you going to do this? How are you going to do that? It just takes a long time. And plus, you need to have quality signals to start. So we have stacks. So yeah, I can understand why someone might be like, yeah, I can't really be bothered to try and figure that out myself. It's ideas are I think, are the commodity in this age, aren't they? Because without ideas, you can't create something useful, right? And so, yeah, then we also have the first signal priority, right? So we might get a batch of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minute signals all at the same price. So we'll pick the highest quality signal out of those based on historical success rates, whether that's expected value, EV, win rate, trade counts, RR, averages, yeah, all of that stuff's being tracked. But I prefer this mode, which is OTT, one trade at a time, it's called. Either it's taking a trade after the current trade is resolved, so it's never going to have two trades on at once. Or you can have it so it's, if it's already a lazy boy qualified trade, right? App derived realistic perspectives, right? And it's qualified as a quality trade, yeah. And look, I think we got a long that just appeared on NQ, so we can map that out in a moment, see how it goes. We're getting a lot of signals most days, so But yeah, if it's already all those things, then I'm okay to have my system. This music's funny. Someone died. Yeah, it was me actually. I got to turn that down a bit. Maybe let's have a look. I'll answer some questions in a little bit. That's right, Mister. A little bit tired. Hello, Pablo. Who we got? Yeah. All right. Anyway, I'm gonna change this song because I feel like it's like fucking jungle panpipes. Who loves music here? Nature sounds. There we go. Yeah, that works with me. All right. Anyway, so if it's already qualifying with Lazy Boy Engine, right? Lazy Boy, the name, I'm sure you can sort of guess. It's like uh, you just press a button and it does all the decision making for you, pretty much. And then if it's already using the realistic view of our own app derived qualifications and levels, yeah, not relying on Pine's sort of inconsistency to produce ongoing, like, uh, I guess, true outcomes. Um, and it's got a gap 10 minutes, so it'll take a trade, right? Then if you get another trade after 10 minutes that qualifies, it'll take that too. So that won't always wait for it to resolve. It will add to position, so you get this sort of adding to winners kind of scenario going on, right? Which works out. A lot of room to explore there anyway, but yeah, that's it, really. All gold NQ. All this is showing for all. If you want to filter for, like, say, uh, bloody N or GC on its own, you can have this, and then it will have these filters too. You can see what current edges are active, right? So you got B setup shorts, right, which over 151 trades, 80% win rate, close to 2,000 points, right? That's actually pretty good. And they've actually been good for a while. It's always been in the 70 to 80 plus zone. So you could just have a B setup short bot. Yeah. And then NQ with these are the edges for NQ, right? That kind of thing. I mean, there's really, like, I've made it so everything is so visible, right? So people can sort of pick and choose. So that's why I think there's not really going to be much of like an edge decay issue or a prop firms noticing us issue, if you don't mind me saying, because everyone could be and likely would be trading in different things, even if they're automating. Yeah. And so, yeah, I'm going to go through some questions quickly. This is just the main dashboard, and I've got a lot of other things to show you. I didn't have my notifications on. So you can have notifications, you can download the app, you can have webhook messages forwarded, um, all inside the app, right? And choose your webhook forwarding address, all of that stuff. Yeah, yeah, pretty damn cool. I'm going to check out the messages quick. Hello, Real Eye Trades. And hello, Prop Snatch. Let's see. ASYXC. Jordan, do you think evil AI could become more powerful with the implementation of level 2 data? Um, I have level 2 data coming from, I mean, in what respect? Because we do in two different potential go through how to set up filters. Okay. Uh, yeah, we do use it. For what? I think that's my question back to you. For what exactly? Because we already use it for qualifying when targets have been hit in the same 1 minute candle, for example, if you know what I mean. Because can you imagine if you have a trade where the it's just a crazy big candle on the 1 minute and it hits the TP before the stop, but it might register on the 1 minute candles as a loss, but actually it was a win because you don't see all the tick data, do you? When you are on the bloody 1 minute. You just see one candle. What hit first? You don't see the sequence of uh, whether the target hit before the stop or vice versa. If you get me, so that's very important. I think what it comes down to is what like what would level two to really understand like how level two data would benefit. You need to understand what level two data is, right? And then it's like sometimes more information isn't always actually better. uh, Learned that many times over. um, yeah, yeah, so yeah, you can come back to me with for what exactly, and maybe we are all ready for that process anyway. uh, I do sleep. I slept like 10 hours last night, so okay. Hey, Diddy. You're right, man. This is being recorded, by the way. I did see your message. I'm just been a little busy. So go through how to set up the filters. Yeah, filters. So on the front end, the filters shouldn't actually have a flow through effect to your notifications and whatnot. They used to, as I've been sort of mopping up the pieces a bit with stuff that was left over from when you'd click these, it would actually show you only lazy boy trades with app derived levels and qualified by the app and gap 10 minute trades, and it would filter out the rest. Yeah. Whereas now all of that should happen on the settings side, so in here, right? Um, Now, if I wanted to filter to have actually to see only trades coming onto the dashboard that are say um, for a certain session, for certain time frame, certain direction, certain signal type, all of that kind of stuff, I would click the filter icon in either gold or NQ, right? If you only want to see trades above a certain win rate, above expected value, right, above a certain sample size, because there's no use having 100% win rate, yeah, on 3 trades historically, because it's not really giving you an indication of how it could keep performing. Even then, things are more dynamic than that, aren't they? So, yeah, it's not quite that simple, but maybe you do want to sort of align with the trade types that are working best, right? So maybe you went to edges, yeah, right, and you only want to see B setups in New York because um, there's 87 trade count. Maybe you only want to see, this is a 200 trade count, 70% success rate, big amount of points accrued during that time. And maybe you only want to see Asia, yeah, Asia, A setup. So you click Asia, A setup. Then it will only show you Asia A setups. It will still show you across 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 minute. Yeah, pretty much. That's how I'd set up my filters. And you're welcome to explore. Yeah, is it? Yeah, it's showing. Yeah, if you haven't tried out. Hey, Ivan. Ah, hello, Mark. Yeah, did you just join, Ivan? Because I've gone through a few things, and I think you'd be intrigued. But yeah, anyway, so that's how you'd set up the filters independently. But yeah, overall, I'm just on Lazy Boy app, 10-minute time gap between trades because that helps. Or you could do like a resolve, right? So it's only going to show you a trade after the last one resolved, right? Or you could be using first signal priority, and that's first best, right? So it will only take the best out of the collection of signals coming through. But for me, gap 10-minute, I have the data on that as well, and I'll show you that now. So in the performance section, if I just turn that off, yeah, looks good. Okay. In the performance section, you see, it actually has a graph with the settings that you set up, right? So just like on the front page, yeah, we had what? We had Lazy Boy on, didn't we? Right? And we had app mode on once it loads. Right. Okay. And you can see all of the trades. So there's 464 trades. I'll just reload that just in case, because sometimes it's got to pull a lot of information from the back end. So just to be sure. Yeah, so that's more likely it. And so you can see that 363 trades qualified for Lazy Boy, right? We're using app-derived data, so it's pulling all the information on the top revolving on a revolving basis, the best trades to take. Yep. And we even have an export section, so you can export that data and compare. I know there's some cool guys appearing out there where they're creating systems, apps, like an app offering for where you can actually import your data, and it does like a full institutional grade hedge fund analysis to see whether you can pass your prop firm with the strategy, right? And like these trades are all real. So can you imagine a bloody live trade, real trade outcome, not historical look back, but real trade outcomes, and it's saying you have an edge, right? 6.25 profit factor, 2.3 R average trade, best trade 99, average loss 15 points, average win 35, worst trade out of all is 41 points. And you can see on GC and NQ, it's just a steady move up. And you can export that as a CSV or a JSON payload type thing, JSON info about the trade. And how this works, this is actually working with it's got a very specific kind of like algorithm deciding how the trades play out. So it's a two-pass system where it kind of acts like you would as the trader. So it triggers a long, right? Has your stop loss placed, yeah, and a sort of below price because it's a long, yeah. So the app stop, optimize stop, and then TP1 hits. What happens? this simulates a stop to break even scenario. So if it then comes back to stop you out, you have a TP1 win. Yep. And but then if it keeps going and doesn't hit your stop after break even after TP1, it will potentially hit TP2, right? The TP2 outcome is what ends up being the outcome, right? Now, there's another scenario where maybe it didn't hit TP1 or your stop during the trade. So you got this space between TP1 and your stop distance, and it will register a win or a loss, yeah, by end of sessions, at end of each of the sessions, well, the stack sessions, it will register a win or a loss depending on where that session closed. Yeah. And I have my automation set up to close positions out at the end of sessions. Yeah. So it's actually mirroring, my executor is mirroring exactly what this is doing. Obviously, I'd want it to do that because look at the bloody graph, guys. So I think the power behind this is it keeps the stop. Sometimes the stops are very tight, yeah, but it keeps the stops tight where they have. It's been a historically good idea to keep them tight. Um, yeah, and here it just goes through some of the different sessions involved and their quality, and at the bottom of that, you can actually see all the individual trades. How cool is that? Yeah. And yeah, setting your win rate, EV, and trade count thresholds does affect this, but you set those on the front page, don't you? So yeah. Anyway, so that's bloody that, and then there's the insight section, which is it's giving you an indication of current best edges, what to avoid. So it's saying to block edges. I don't know whether this is updated to the new systems I have in place. I have to look. Yeah, it looks like app stats. Yeah. Yeah, so it's showing GC short B setups. Good. And that's 129 trades. So yeah, I'll need to actually. I think I need to have a little review. I've been focused so much on the execution side because I pretty much just don't have as much time to trade as I used to because I've been working so hard on this. So it kind of pushed me to think, hey, well, if these are working so well, I can just let it trade for me. Of course, that's a whole other system you have to work on, right? It's like just as important as the app, right? So, but yeah, I'm not out here sort of at the moment giving people an executor or anything because I think you have to be very careful about that kind of thing. So TP1, yeah, yeah, okay. So showing results for TP1 for both assets, GC here to TP1. Yeah. So you could just find edges. It's like a find your edge within our ecosystem kind of thing, you know? Because the data doesn't lie, it's all app derived. Um, yeah. And these are dimensional edges. So you got the broad edge, which is like NQB long, for example. But then you've got the more detailed edge, which is like NQB long late night session, a scout mode activated in TradingView in the stack script, and then fast. Fast is basically your one to. I grouped some time frames because sometimes the like the 1 minute might not have that much historical instances of the signal type in that session, right? In that direction, A or B. So I grouped maybe 1 to 2 minute because then that at least gives us a bigger data pool for some of those. But I think in time I'll make it more. Probably have to wait another couple of months before we have every single signal type with great density. So across the lower time frames, anyway. Yeah, there's always a reason for things. Yeah, so that's it. And then combined, yeah, uh, and that will load because it's got to pull information from the back end, right? Might just need to reload. Yeah, I'll just go to all. Yeah, and so it's telling you which edges to block, watch for marginal edge, and then we might as well stick to the better edges anyway, right? But the insights page, interesting. Um, and heat simulation, that's basically the stop simulations. It's showing you across all signals, right? Whether where you get to a point where uh, the look 90% of trades, 90th percentile, 90% of trades, right, on GC up the top there had 15-point deviation from their entry before they went and made profit. That's interesting, right? And so you can see if you can see on this hold or fold simulator, it shows you 84% of winners had a very small deviation from that. Makes sense, actually, doesn't it? Because you get in those trades and they just run to target. So it's not really telling us anything we don't know. Yeah. But then it will give you a little insight, which is always evolving as well, depending on what we're seeing. Execution insight, the average winning trade goes 5.8 points against you before hitting target, right? Yeah. And stay within 14.7 points of heat. Yeah. Beyond that, the odds are against you, basically. And it will be different for MQ, of course. Might have to create a broader density here. I think it's using the GC density or width. But yeah, same thing goes. Yeah, at least you get the insight from the full spectrum down there. So the average winning trade goes 22.56 points against you before hitting target. 90% of winners stay within 48.4 points. You got to remember, this is based off of look, you can see 545 winning trades. So it's taking the winning trades and it's saying this is what those trades did, right? And then the trades that went beyond the threshold failed because of that, pretty much. And that's just for TP2, TP1. And then we've got a heat versus P&L sort of matrix thing going on there. It's literally showing that like the y-axis is showing you that P&L, yeah, uh, yeah, the P&L was positive, right, when we didn't drop. Okay, so the further up, the more points against you, right? So if you're looking at the red dots there, the points against you were lower in well, it's lower in P&L because it's points against you, right? But they're greater, right, than if you just entered a trade. I can just summarize it simply. If you enter a trade and it just runs to target, that's the exact kind of trade you want to be in. Yeah. And all we need to know is how deep are those really nice trades dropping before they run to target. Yeah. You're with me? Yeah, and then you can see by don't be afraid of the red. It doesn't mean bad. It just means the average uh, by signal type, session, and time frame. Yeah, I mean all of this stuff's great, but I prefer that was like phase 2 or 3 out of building this app. And then I'm like, okay, but that's great, but can it just trade for us with all that information? That's where Lazy Boy came in, you know? And of course, you're going to get losses here and there. Um, I think the ML component will come in because we've got machine learning and neural network, and of course, the prop firm contrarian madness with all the prop firm traders, counter trading prop firms, basically, or the users of prop firms. All of that to look forward to, and probably going to make it more of like a solid thing in the next week. Because it's running and it's on there. I just need a week of to see how it performed on its own without touching it. Um, but yeah, we got all that stuff that can help with like filtering out certain trades because it can. The Signals app can actually tell when we're chopping and when we're in a trending environment, not by candle structure or anything, literally by regimes, right? So yeah, that's that. And then John wanted to know how I'm setting up the filters. So if I go to settings, yeah, and yeah, bloody here, I'm pretty much just I don't worry about the webhook thing there now. Um, Also pretty cool. You can put in your email there, and you get a daily end of day digest email with like how the day was and top combinations. I need to update that with more stuff though, because we've since had other types of systems implemented, which will be cool to keep track of. But yeah, so you got Lazy Boy there, and I'm just clicking all those and saving. That's it. I pretty much keep my dashboard, the filtering on there, very, like if we go here, I'm keeping the filtering on there completely off. Yeah. I forgot. Yeah. We have presets as well, which I'll update soon because then you could just click that and those could become your webhook. So like top presets at the moment. So number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's coming from the insights page. The top combinations. I forgot we got all this down here. Yeah, best flows is these, but I think we could do. We could actually have the dimensional edges and broad, the best broad, anything with an edge in the best broad. Should write that down. But yeah, I haven't been working on that, but that could very much be a thing in the next week or so where I implement that. You just a click of a button and you could be always aligned with the top edges, if that makes sense. Yeah, bloody hell, what a load of work. But yeah, it's been a real journey. What can I say? Let me see. Yeah, I mean, it's getting there, man. Hello, what check? Yeah, but I think yesterday the bot made like $650 with 2 micros. Today it's break even. It seems. Yeah, yeah. But I'm just gonna continue to let it run. The phone that you know is just trading for you. Going on the back end and all the processing that align P&L curve. Like you don't even at that point in time, when you're trading manually, I've been a manual trader for years, and you'd be like enduring a loss, right, will then result in you having a win afterwards. It's just sort of like feeling like, you got a battle with yourself. You're like, I don't know if I'll be able to do it. Yeah, it sort of knocks your confidence a bit. Whereas with this, it's not like that at all. It's sort of like, if you get a loss, you're like, okay, well, there will be winners because that's what the data says. And you feel so much more relaxed when trading. There will be days where you'll break even, maybe a slight loss, but overall, you can't argue with the trajectory of the success rate of how the system is actually determining trades. Yeah, of course, you can just be extremely harsh, extremely aggressive with the filtering, only take the absolute best setups and have maybe, I don't know, 5 trades a week or something, right? Sure, you can do that if that's your style. Um, I'm approaching it more like lazy boy style with like quality signals, uh, filtered with a lot of smart filtering processes, right? That are always evolving the current trend of the best signal types, and doing volume, right? So I'm relying on quantity over uh, like really strict quality, if that makes sense. Um, do we use this instead of or together with stacks? Well, this is the thing, lad. Stacks is just visual, right? It's a visual representation of what the signals are actually, where they're happening, right? Um, but you could trade without even looking at the chart, right? Only to execute. Yeah. And so that's the big difference. It's like, it might seem kind of alien and strange to call yourself a trader, but you hardly even look at a chart. But I think even that is part of the problem for a lot of traders anyway, because they're like, oh, I'm going to do my analysis. And then their analysis is the reason why they don't end up, um, they lose control and sense of themselves, and they are no longer even aware that they've been staring at the chart for 5 hours and not much to show for it. Then when it comes to execute, they're already fried and they do something they didn't even plan to do. Um, some trade they weren't even planning to take. So yeah, it's that mirage effect. But yeah, so do you need stacks to trade with the app? No, obviously not, because the app is telling you where to take trades. And I think that will be the ultimate flex is, um, someone asking you why you took a trade, and you're like, I don't know, just a hunch, um, yeah, without doing any analysis at all. Of course, you can always trade better than an automated system if you're skilled, because but not many are skilled and have the ability to withhold their emotional, um, knee-jerk reaction to candles moving up and down the chart rapidly, right? So if you're like most traders who struggle with that, maybe having an app decide for where you should enter and exit based on real trade data, not historical simulations. Um, Maybe that's more for you. But yeah, you could trade effectively with stacks on the chart, of course. And if you had shark food on the chart, you'd know where price is likely to come and absorb before moving anywhere. So that helps. I like those tools very much. With icebergs, you can see where like the big players are accumulating, right? And all of that's very useful because 9 times out of 10, if you're an iceberg below, right, and it's got some shark food levels there and it's got a stack there, you can know ahead of time where price is going to reject hard from, right? You can actually know that ahead of time. Looking at the app, you're not able to anticipate yet, anyway. I'm thinking about that. You're not able to anticipate where the best areas are for price to get to, because there could be a point in the next months where I implement a system that's like, oh, we're getting close to a potential setup forming. Keep your eyes alert, right? Of course, it doesn't really matter if you're. Doesn't matter if you've set up an executor system to automate for you, does it? You're not having to prepare to enter trades manually, you know. And half the issue is that I might fumble an entry anyway because I'm waiting so long, and a signal appears and it half confirms, right? And it doesn't fully confirm, it doesn't print with the next bar appearing. And I've entered a trade that never confirmed, and then it dies, you know? And I'm like, damn, why don't I just not wait? Because stacks didn't actually confirm for good reason, you know? Whereas an executor would just see that very objectively, right? And it would only enter if it did confirm, right? So that is, I think that's the real benefit there. Yeah. What's that saying? All right. Anyway, so that's that. Yeah. Try it out by all means. By all means. But the real review will be after, because I've got Top Step X account linked up to the app. And I'm just gonna let it, like I did last year, where I let Stacks trade for me. It passed an account on Top Step and got me a $3,000 payout. Uh, Pretty much hands free. There were just some instances where uh, TradingView didn't send an alert and it didn't close my position, you know. And that might have been a benefit because it didn't close my position and it kept running in profit. So yeah, that's why it maybe in some scenarios did better than even Stacks on its own because of a system issue. But yeah, anyway, so you've got that happened last year, and now I'm like I've taken it 100 steps further, and we're at a point where it could be just totally autonomous. I've just got to be very careful. We have to be very careful where we like step with that, with the autonomy, right? Because there are there may be some issues that could arise, you know? So I'm not here to take responsibility for people's trades and everyone trading the exact same thing. So I need to devise a smart way to work through that and just to make sure we don't have issues, right? So just know that I am thinking about the smart things you need to think about. um, I'm not being ignorant, right? And I only, these days, I'm very careful with what I say and what I do, because you have to be, certainly when you have something that could be totally automated for everyone, right? Um, yeah. Anyway, any more questions? I'm not sure if I cover everything. I am not sure. Let's see. Uh, well, there's a lot actually, but that's kind of like the main thing. Yeah. Let's see if we have. Yeah, I mean, ML mode still looking really good right now, but look at that ML mode. Yeah, that's a big dip. You got to think about it. It was training throughout that time, so it didn't know what it was doing, right? Whereas since March 13th, right? And actually, I forgot that you can hover over these and it will tell you the trades. individually, which is cool. Um, so it'll show you that trade. But yeah, so I think it was just a series of losses on the way down and it recovered. But this is doing like historical simulation of those trades, yeah, until a point, right? Of course, it has to because it was reading trades throughout that time, right? Um, Actually, no, these are real trades from March 2nd, maybe March 1st. Yeah, that's right. So this is real, but it had no information to base it on, right? From a live scenario, only historical. So it's only from like last week that it's been running. So now I'm paying attention to this week because if this week goes well, you got a machine learning neural network based contrarian prop firm trading engine, and it's at the point where like someone could hear that idea and they wouldn't be able to replicate it in this way because why? They don't have our signal quality, right? It's very hard to get good signals, right? You'll even see a lot of like programmer smart guys trained in programming development, quantitative analysis, all of this stuff, and quant systems, and they'll be using very generic um, processes to determine signals, buy and sell, right? No creativity at all. And their idea of what creativity is basically just vanilla, right? And I think we're just very lucky to have the people that we have around us, and the fact I've been around for a long time and connected with a lot of different people that inspired us in all these different ways that were maybe uh, a little bit more, uh, let's call it left wing perspectives on trading and trading systems. Well, it allowed us to try different things. That's all. And so, yeah, we have very good quality signals at the core. Because, look, if I just have all trades with no filters on, sure, there's periods of drawdown, but overall, if you're able to survive the drops and stuff, and that is definitely not suited to prop firm trading, right? At all. Because you got like 178, but the trend is up. It's making money without any filters at all, right? And how many trades is that? That's 1,500 trades, actual live trades. So um, across NQ and GC. But to actually survive prop firms, you need to know how to deal with trailing drawdown and all that stuff. And that's how you get many more less trades, right? Right, let's stick on it. Many more less trades, 679, right? But then you apply heat stop, right? And then suddenly that's no, ML mode isn't sticking. Okay, that's better. Okay, same amount of trades, but it's taken some of that off. And remember, we can't really track ML mode until later on in this pipeline of events, can we? Because it was learning in the first half. So we just go from the middle there on March 13th. That is the more likely trend that it's uh, picked up, right, to adopt qualification, right? But still, 147 points doesn't sound right because heat stop would cap it off at around, I think, 70 max in some periods, right, where we were very volatile. But that's just one example, right? And you could even be like, I want to track. I mean, you can export the data already, right? But let's say you want to track from March 13th onwards for a more realistic perspective. We will add in a date range thing so you can do that because it makes sense for certainly systems like ML mode where it's only learnt recently. And that's why I'm tracking this week. This week's doing great in ML mode, as you can see. So uh, looking promising. But you might not want to use heat sim. You might want to have app derived levels. Yep. Which looks insane, honestly. That's app derived on all trades. Yeah. So even I'm like I'm having fun just spending a bit of time looking at things I haven't even tested yet because I've been so focused on the lazy boy stuff because I want to have my trades taken for me, right? Because I'm a lazy boy. But yeah, lazy to trade, uh, busy to work on this. Yeah, so let's do app derived mode and ML mode. Takes a moment to load. Come on. Maybe I can't do that yet. Yeah, I think I need to be able to link those. So ML mode only uses app derived levels. Yeah. So a few things I need to fix, but ML mode is new. So of course I haven't plugged it into everything yet. ML mode for I think ML mode even won't allow me to put on this. Yeah, it has a slight effect, but no. Yeah, it's not allowing me. Yeah, so I need to connect that up. Yeah, I think first signal, I need to fix that too. Someone said in performance page. Yeah, but that's it. So I'll just literally, and you'll get notifications on your app. If you're in the Discord, we have the Discord messages too, right? So it comes up with the signal, and your webhook payload, which is the thing that could allow you to automate this. I've already got it set up. We've got like maybe 5 members or something who are all setting up automation, and they've had some success already by the looks of it. Yeah, a lot of capable people. But I think for the moment, if people were looking to join and automate, um, I'll let you discuss that with them more than me because yeah, I have to be a little bit careful with what I'm saying publicly. Um, I'm not I'm not promoting this as an automation service, but I'm saying people can, but that's up to them to figure out. Um, and that's the smartest approach I can have at the moment, right? People have done it. I don't know anything about it. There you go. But yeah, all right, cool. Let me check the chat. So you could apply because you know John Bettio. It'll be at 10 minutes. You could, well, you'll be getting the payload, right? This is if you're looking to automate this stuff, I am thinking the best way to do this is just to have all that information in a payload, and then the person creating the executing tool, right, for their system could have it read certain parts of the payload. So maybe it's like, oh, if the ML system is saying to not take this trade, it won't take this trade, and it will suppress certain trades, if that makes sense, pretty much. Um, and yeah, the ML system has, and the NN neural network has the capacity to make decisions like that, like how long to wait between trades and all of this. Um, yeah, and plus it has a lot. It has a lot it can do that we're not taking advantage of yet. But what I wanted to do is, but on Saturday this week, I want to have a look at what the data is saying, and then I can be like, hey, let's implement this in some way, not to overfit, right? Because then you can end up with like two things: unrealistic outcomes, and a lack of trades. um, yeah, yeah. So I'm always thinking that, but like something that is just a subtle. A lot of these things are just subtle complementary additions. You know, um, subtle complementary additions. That's what. And I think that's the best approach. Having like a big list of functions approach where they're all just doing something slightly complementary, right? It's like ML, as you can see there on the last trade, the GC long trade, right? Um, as you know, there's a lot you can do, but just to avoid that, I mean, it's a very tight stop there because that's what the system suggested. We don't want it to lose too much in most cases in this signal type historically because it doesn't work to. Um, like it's a 0 machine learning confidence score there. And that could be for many reasons, meaning maybe a certain prop firm, everyone trading is short. Ah, yeah, but they're winning maybe. Yeah. So that's a scenario where it's not contrarian. It is contrarian, but we're on the wrong side because they're actually in profit, so they're winning for a reason. One of these types of things, yeah. Um, so it gives it a 0 score, right? Maybe the regime is choppy, right? I haven't looked. Um, so that could have been filtered out, for example, which is just one less dig into whatever profit we've made today. Yeah. Um, yeah. What's Mikhail Barrington? What's a good range number for XAU USD on for gold? Didn't someone you asked that in the Discord? I think someone actually messaged you back. No, I don't know because I haven't been trading with EM levels for a while because why? They're one of 19 different things inside stacks anyway. Just EM levels very one dimensional compared to what we're seeing with stacks, of course. Yeah, yeah. I don't know is the answer. Um, can't remember what range size gold is using in stacks anyway. I forget. Mark, you're connecting to NT8 testing. Good. Yeah, if anyone's actually automating, it would be cool to see like a weekly summary of one, what settings you're using, and two, um, like what your trades look like. Yeah, yeah. What we got? But yeah, I don't want it to be such a long stream. But yeah, I just wanted to go over like the main things, which is you literally bloody automate, which is nuts. Automate whatever you want. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's been like I'm sure a few of you who have been like John knows, Mark knows. Um, yeah, I've been battling trying to get multiple systems to align with the same information, and yeah, you can't be scared though. You can't be scared because then you don't bother, even though you know you're imminently about to walk down a road that requires maybe a week of non-stop troubleshooting. You know, Like my next week could be more of that. Yeah. And my next week could be more of that again. And it's not worth thinking about, is it? Because it has to be done. It has to be done fast. So I think that's the other thing, is like maybe some software builders and whatnot in this day and age might take a week or so to fix something, or at least try. But I'm sure you've noticed that the moment I see something not working right, I'm on it immediately. And 9 times out of 10, it's fixed within a couple of minutes. So, well, like maybe half an hour. And that's how we've been able to build this so fast, right? Because I've had loads of eyes on the prize, and the moment that something goes wrong, I'm fixing it. But maybe I wouldn't have noticed on my own if something had gone wrong or not. I need everyone to be there to see it. Yeah, and we've probably stepped on a lot of people's toes, but we're at a point over the last month or so. But we're at a point now where most of the issues have been ironed out, right? And we're at a point where we could, in theory, just automate. So, and I have been. Shh. All right. Anyway, thank you, everyone. If you haven't tried it out yet, you can sign up for a free 24-hour trial to test it out. And yeah, all right, cool. Well, yeah, thanks for hanging around. Thanks for stopping by. And if you have any questions, join the Discord. There's a public section, and you can ask questions there for sure. All right, guys, thank you. Catch you around.